This morning on Today's Money, a lesson in numbers. What should 0%, 5%, or even 30% mean in your daily life? Vera Gibbons is MSNBC financial analyst. She's here to give us some easy figures that can help us all keep our bottom lines in check. Vera, good morning to you.
Savannah.
Well, this makes it easy. Let's start with your few numbers. With 0%, what should that number mean to us?
This is the amount of your take-home pay that you ideally should owe to your credit card company. So in other words, nothing. Now, unfortunately, the average household has about $16,000 in credit card debt right now. So you really want to make a concerted effort to try to pay that off.
You're not saying don't use your credit cards. You're saying try not to carry a balance.
Try not to carry a balance. I mean, the next number, 5%, would be the maximum amount of your take-home pay that you should owe to the credit card companies. That's it. So you really want to try to chip away at this debt.
Okay, but let me say 0% we try not to owe, but 5% is how much we should borrow
every month? The maximum amount that you should owe. I know, it's a little complicated here. So there's a couple of strategies. You can, consolidate your debt, do a balance transfer. There's some options out there, but you have to make sure that the balance transfer fee isn't too high and that the conditions are reasonable.
Okay, our next number to remember is 15%, and this has to do with our retirement savings.
Now, this is the minimum amount of your monthly take-home pay, of your gross, that you should be allocating specifically toward your retirement. And this is actually the minimum because it actually presumes that you're in your 30s or have been saving for retirement since the age of 25. So for most of us, that number is actually closer to 20%.
You mean if you didn't start till you were in your 30s?
Right, and some of us don't. That's the problem. Retirement's really expensive. You're going to need to replace 100% of your pre-retirement income to live comfortably in retirement.
Okay, but so you're saying that's 15% of your take-home pay?
Of your gross.
Oh, of your gross.
Of your gross.
Goodness, Vera, this is difficult.
I hope I'm not complicating matters more.
No, it's just depressing. All right, next number, 25%. This has to do with mortgages.
This has to do with your housing costs. So you're 25 to 28%. The maximum amount that should be allocated to your housing, which would be your mortgage, your insurance, your taxes, all of that. Now, if you're above this mark, one way to reduce it would be to come up with a sizable down payment. But regardless, you have to have good credit. I mean, Zillow Mortgage Marketplace did the analysis research and found that if you have a score of under 620, you're unlikely to get a single loan quote, even if you make that sizable down payment of 15 to 25%. So you want to make sure you hit these targets. If you're well above these, and there are calculators on bankrate.com, then you really need to make a concerted effort to bring that down.
What about us renters? Can we spend a little more on our rent? I hope you're going to say yes, because here in New York City, it can
well,
get
New York's one of those,
one
markets is really expensive. So some people spend up to 50% of their income on rent in some areas, and some people spend as little as 15%. The average ballpark is about 30% of your rent. So the old 41 rule, so $1,800 a month in rent, assuming you're making 40 times that, which would be $72,000.
Okay, I'm glad you're so good at math. Vera Gibbons, thank you so much for numbers that are easy to remember. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Savannah.